The first iPhone was invented in 2007. Use of it became popularized in the early 2010s. The first social media apps were also invented around this time, Instagram in 2010 and Snapchat in 2011. Social media has only grown since then, with now around 4.6 billion users. Let me show you some data. This is a graph showing the rates of reported depression in teenage boys and girls from 1991 to 2018. This is a graph showing the suicide rate in the US in all age groups. The biggest rise is in 10 to 14-year-olds and 15 to 24-year-olds. And this is a graph measuring the frequency of suicide, self-harm, and major depressive episodes in girls 12 to 15 years old. There's one thing that all these graphs have in common. The negative trends start to skyrocket at around 2012. My argument is that social media is the cause, or at least the catalyst, for these concerning statistics and is responsible for the ongoing destruction of Western society. In this video, we're going to answer why, and we're going to answer how. Social media is addictive. This isn't a secret. Social media is designed to be as addictive as possible. When something is free, you're the product. These apps make money through advertisements, which means that maximizing the time people spend on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok is very important. They've succeeded. Congruent with the rise of depression and the rise of suicide and the destruction of society, here comes the rise of social media. Here's Instagram's growth over time. Here's Snapchat's. Here's TikTok's. And it's definitely worth it for them. If you need a motive to attribute to these companies, here you go. This is Snapchat's annual revenue over time. They earned $4.6 billion last year. Here's TikTok, which has been growing the most rapidly. They earned $3 billion from the last quarter of a year alone. They earned $9.4 billion in the entirety of 2022, over double what they earned in 2021, $4.6 billion. Instagram takes the cake, though, at a whopping $14 billion in the last quarter of 2022 and $51.4 billion in the year of 2022. Okay, so this proves that social media has been increasing exponentially in popularity over the past decade. But why do I think it's responsible for the corresponding rise in depression and suicide and all that stuff? I have a few reasons. We compare ourselves to other people. That's human nature. That's perfectly fine when you used to only compare yourself realistically with the people in your small community, but now we can compare ourselves with literally the best of the entire world. Anything you could do, someone else could do better, be that looks or social life. Think about how it's only really been in the past 10 years that almost everyone could pull out a camera and effortlessly see what they look like. This isn't just about body image, though, because just the idea of sharing a space with all your acquaintances where they get to choose what to show you and what not to show you is really weird. You end up comparing your behind the scenes to someone's highlight reel. It's toxic, and it could so easily lead to a downward spiral. I bet if I asked everyone in this room how they got to some of their lowest points of insecurity or depression or poor mental health, they would all say social media. Beyond that, though, having a rectangle in your pocket that you can use for mindless stimulation and entertainment at any point isn't good. Any activity that is pleasure-filled and easy to do can be unhealthy and escape if overused. And as I talked about earlier, social media is literally designed to grab as much of your time as possible. It's designed to be as addictive as possible. When you're constantly watching TikToks or refreshing your Instagram page, almost neurotically, it becomes a problem. I feel that most people are at that point because it's such an easy trap to fall into. Time on social media is time not spent thinking, not spent planning, not spent in quiet or in peace or in love. It's time away from the things that do give you real satisfaction and happiness. More time wasted, which you know to some extent, which makes you unhappy and depressed. We didn't evolve to spend time talking to each other through a cold digital box, unrealistically comparing ourselves to others, seeking validation, and drowning in stimulation. We were meant for real social connection, with the real people around us. We need to unplug every once in a while and #BePresentCJ. That is why I think social media is responsible for the destruction of our society and our health. Try to look at your own personal life and figure out what you can do to help with this problem. Spend a bit more time away from the phone and out in the real world. It's a concerning world we live in right now, and we're the future of it. It's up to us to overcome this.